Hello and welcome to Pickleball Therapy, the podcast dedicated to your pickleball improvement. I am your host of the weekly podcast, Tony Roig. I hope you had a happy new year. Hope you had a great holiday break. We did take a break last week. Andrew, my son, who also produces the podcast, was like, I think that's the first time you haven't done an episode in a long time. And I said, well, it is the holiday season and everybody's entitled to a break. So we took one as well. But happy to be back with you. We are in Camp Zavaganza week. We're basically, we have two camps this week here in Tampa, Florida. Kylene Dye from the Better Pickleball coaching team is joining me here to teach these camps. We wrapped up one of our camps yesterday. Had 12 awesome players during that camp. Got to meet new players, share with them the awesome, framework of pickleball and how to play better. Everybody left with more information and ready for the next leg of the journey. And then today we start a grad camp. So we have, we have 2 levels of camp now. That we're going to be, that we teach. And so we're super excited to see these players today. These are players who we've worked with before and have a foundation of pickleball and are ready to take their next step. So it's an exciting week for us here in our coaching world here. Today, what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about in and out for 2026. I think it's a good time to have that kind of pause, if you will, in terms of ourselves and look at kind of, pick some things that we can say are out and then replace them with something that's more positive as in. It seems to be a good trend that I've seen out there in 2026, so we're going to jump on that trend. As we dive into it, I wanted to give a shout out to several of you who have taken a moment to review our book, Pickleball Therapy, the book. And I just went to the oldest ones first, so I'm going to read a few of those, just the headlines, because they're very beefy, and I mean that in a positive way. I really appreciate the feedback on it. But Julie says, best $27.99 you can spend to help improve your pickleball overall experience. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. Nuitz says, change your perspective and enjoy the game and life. I love that. More with Tony Roy's new book. Appreciate that. Jeff Renshaw, who also helped us put the book together, but he's also, believes in the content of the book. A must read for anyone who wants to improve their pickleball game and enjoy it more. And then Bill says, fantastic insight into the mental aspects of pickleball. And Valinda D says, awesome read. So really appreciate y'all taking a moment to, or more than a moment, I guess, taking your time, I should say, to mention some words about the book on Amazon. As I mentioned during the last several podcasts, it helps us reach other players. We live in a computer world where computers get to decide what players and people just see in general. And so interacting with information that you like helps others then reach that information as well, or see that information. So appreciate you doing that. If you haven't had a chance to do it yet, if you have a moment and have read the book and would like to share a review, please do so. I do have a little bit of a challenge here. I'm not suggesting you do this if you don't feel this way, but all of the reviews on Amazon are 5 stars, which is great and we appreciate it. But let's say you think it's 3 stars. Go in there and give it its first 3-star review, because it doesn't have one yet. So feel free to do that. We take all feedback, whether it's 5 stars, 1 star, 3 stars, 2 stars. So appreciate you doing that. All right, let's dive into this in and out for 2026. I have 4 different areas that I'm going to cover in this podcast. The first few, we're going to go kind of quick because they're not that much to dive into. And then I have one at the end that I've made special for pickleball therapy, for therapy listeners. So we're going to dive a little more deep into those. So the first in and out for 2026, we're just going to talk about equipment for a minute here. 3 different areas. One is on your shoes. Check yourself on your shoes, okay? And I'm not trying to sell you shoes. We do have a shoe company that we've been worked with for the last 3 or 4 years. I'll mention them when I'm done with this, but you can wear any court shoe that you're comfortable with, right? The key is that you're wearing a court shoe, meaning like a shoe that's designed for tennis or for some sort of court activity, because pickleball involves a lot of lateral movement, and so you want to make sure that you have a shoe that supports not just your feet, but also your legs and all the joints that go up your body with lateral footwork. So just make sure you're wearing some sort of court shoe. If you're going to wear a shoe that has a really thick heel, like a Cloud shoe or a Hoka, I know there's other brands, but those are the ones that come to mind. Basically, the really high heel shoe, really cushiony shoe. I would just check first, check with your podiatrist, check with somebody who knows what they're talking about whether that shoe is going to be good for you with pickleball. There's at least one instance that I'm aware of, a player who I knew that before they started wearing court shoes had worn jogging shoes, which is similar, to play pickleball, and it basically damaged their knee because they, it too much to talk about today, but just check yourself on the shoe. Make sure you're wearing a court shoe. If you're not sure, Tyrell is a company that we use. You can go to betterpickleball.com, click on the link. They'll take you to the company. I think there might even be a code or something, not a code, but like a discount applied or something. But anyway, Tyrell is a really good company, but you can wear any kind of court shoe. So out with shoes that don't apply to pickleball. Staying with shoes, out is waiting until your shoes totally wear out before you replace them. Keep an eye on your shoes, and particularly looking at the midsole here. That's the cushion area of the shoe. What you'll start to see is you start to see that to crease. It's not like the first crease you have to get rid of it, but when it starts to crease, when it starts to get, when it starts to look worn, what that tells you is that you're not getting the cushion and support that you expect from the shoe, from the original shoe. Also, if it starts to feel bad or feel weird, probably time to change your shoe before it has a hole, before the top splits off the shoe. So take care of those feet. It'll take care of your legs and your body. You'll be able to play longer. Also out for 2026 is going to be paddle chasing. Now, listen, you want to buy paddles because it's your passion or something, knock yourself out. But if you're buying paddles with the idea that the paddle is going to help your game, that's mostly nonsense once you're in a certain group of paddles. There is a jump you can make in paddles. In other words, if you're playing with like an Amazon paddle, and you're moving into like $100, $150 paddle, that's going to be a big difference. Sometimes if you're at a $100 paddle moving into a $200 paddle, you may see a difference. There are $100 paddles that are better than $200 paddles. You have to kind of know which one's which. And again, if you want to, not selling you a paddle, but I use Paddle Tech. This is the one that I like, the 14 millimeter. We have it on the website. Welcome to check that one out if you want to. But the idea that I'm going to buy a paddle and the paddle is going to solve my play, that's out. That's not going to happen. Instead, what's in is focusing on your game, right? Do something for yourself and your pickleball, and you want to play better. That's how you play better, not with buying a new paddle. All right, we're going in and out now, partner edition. So what's out for 2026 is rolling of the eyes, huffing, dropping the shoulders, all those types of things, are out. What's in, looking at your partner, eye contact, paddle tap, a little smile. And I'm going to give you 2 reasons to do it. Actually 3 reasons. Let's go with 3. One is for yourself as a human being, being a better human being, right? Do better kind of a thing. Great. Second, for your partner, right? It's better for them. Not going to feel upset. They're not going to get stressed out. But the third one, pragmatic one, is you're going to have a better chance of performing better as a team in that game. If you have a partner who's stressed out, who's feeling down, who's feeling doubtful about their play, probably not going to play as well. So selfishly, you want to play better, support your partner, paddle tap, smile, eye contact. What's out, partner edition number 2, is outward turn. So basically turning away from the middle of the court, whether it's to the left if you're on the left, to the right if you're on the right. You may not be huffing or puffing. You may not be rolling your eyes or anything like that. I'm going to credit here to my co-head coach at Better Pickleball, CJ Johnson. She brings us up in our camp trainings, which is basically when you turn out, right? What happens is there's a potential for misunderstanding, right? Between your partner and you. You turn away, your partner may misread it, right? How do you avoid that? Turn inward. So if you're on the left, turn to the right. If you're on the right, turn to the left. And then go to number 1, which is establish eye contact with your partner, a little smile, a little paddle tap, no misunderstandings. So roll towards the middle, not towards the outside. Next one for partner edition is excluding partners in open play. And what I mean here is you get 2 paddles come up or 4 paddles come up. You see somebody that you don't want to play with. Caveat here, side note. I'm not talking about players who you have the right not to play with because they are negative to you as a human being. In other words, players who make you feel bad and things like that, you have agency, you don't have to play with that player. But if you're just opting not to play in a group or not to play with a player because they're not at my level or they don't hit the ball the way I want to and things like that, let's not do that in 2026. Let's play more inclusive in 2026. And the way to think about it there is I'm going to go in 3 again. It's good for you as a human being. Do good, right? Pay it forward, do a good thing. 2, it's good for the other player because they get to play with you. Presumably you're a better player there. But number 3, it's better for you as well pragmatically, because if we live in a world where let's say, a 4-0 won't play with a 3-5 or a 4-0 won't play with a 3-7, then why would a 4-2 play with a 4-0, right? In other words, let me put it more bluntly. If you won't play with them, then why would I, as a better player, play with you. So give that some thought. In 2026, let's be as inclusive as we can, particularly in open play environments. All right. The third edition, or the third section, I should say, of In and Out is going to be on improvement. So what's out for 2026? YouTube, guys. YouTube. Using YouTube as your main source of information. Out. YouTube is an algorithm. I mentioned that earlier when we talk about reviews. It's just an algorithm. Knows nothing about you other than you like pickleball and you like clicking on this type of content. That's all it knows about you. All it knows about the video. It doesn't even know what the video is about, right? In terms of like, this video is correct, this video is important, nothing. All it knows is a bunch of people have clicked on this video. It could be because of the thumbnail. It could be because of the content creator. It could be because of production. There's a lot of reasons why videos are clicked on. That's all the computer knows. And so, what's feeding you, no idea whether it's worth anything, no idea whether it's right for you. If you want to really improve, you got to get away from the YouTube hamster wheel, as we refer to it. Instead, what you want to do is have some sort of program. Okay. Now, we have programs. You're welcome to use our programs, the Pickleball System or Better Pickleball Academy. You don't have to use those if you don't want to. There's other programs out there. There's other online programs, and there's also local coaches. Try and find a local coach who has some sort of curriculum, some sort of idea of how to progress you. There are very good coaches out there, and there's not so very good coaches out there. So, do a little investigating before you pick a local coach, if that's the route you want to take. If you want to do an online program, there's online programs. I can vouch for our online programs. I know they're very good. We think it through. We try and provide a curriculum that's going to help you with your play. So anyway, so out with YouTube and with some sort of program. Out for 2026 on improvement is trying to do everything at once, right? Can't do it. It's just not possible, and you're just going to frustrate yourself, right? What's in for 2026? Pick one thing, get really good at it. Then you can pick another thing and get really good at it. By the end of 2026, maybe you've mastered a bunch of things, but don't try and do them all at one time. It's just not feasible. And also, in and out for 2026 on improvement is out are chasing things that aren't relevant for you. Now, this ties a little bit into the YouTube because that can happen from there, but it's also going to happen at your local court, meaning like, Fred or Barbara came up to you and said, you know what you need? I know what you need. You need to learn how to hit that fancy roll volley. You need to learn how to spin your dink to the outside or whatever. Do you? Really? Do you? And how are they qualified to tell you what you need? Same thing as YouTube, right? It's an algorithm. They don't really know either. So work on what's relevant for you where you are right now. There are things that are going to help you more now than other things. Identifying those is how you get the biggest bang for your buck, how you get the biggest forward steps. Again, going back to our trainings, that's how we do our stuff, right? So like inside the Pickleball System, there's a step 1 and then a step 2. And I can tell you that step 1 is more important than step 2. And also step 1 is a condition preceding to step 2. So like if you get a YouTube video that gives you step 5 in that sequence and you don't have steps 1 through 4, you're lost at sea, So let's focus on what's relevant for you in 2026. All right. Now here's the special section for you. This is specifically designed for pickleball therapy and available nowhere else, I should say, in terms of 2026 in and out. So let's start with what's out is being disappointed in ourselves. Okay. Whether it's our performance that day, the wins, losses, whatever. Disappointment in ourselves when we engage in this beautiful sport is out. What's in is welcoming the challenges that pickleball provides us. Pickleball is a challenge. Pickleball is a sport that you're engaging with. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to push you. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be walk in the park, right? And walks in the park are great. I'm hoping to, when I'm done here, take the dogs out for a little walk around the neighborhood. Lovely, right? That's not pickleball. Pickleball is a challenge. You're trying to do your best. They're trying to do their best. They're challenging you. They're pushing you. You're pushing them. That's the nature of the beast, right? So let's get rid of disappointment and let's embrace the challenges or welcome the challenges that pickleball provides. And if it helps you, if you're watching, you can see behind me here, a bowl of ice cream behind me. Check out the bowl of ice cream episode. I think you can just Google bowl of ice cream pickleball therapy. Pop, it'll pop up. And listen to that one if you're not sure what I'm talking about. But let's get away from disappointment and move towards welcoming challenges. Next is being upset when you miss a shot. Listen, you're going to miss shots in 2026. I'm sorry to be the bearer of this. It's not bad news. I was going to say bearer of bad news, but why am I saying bearer of bad news? I'm just the bearer of reality for you. If you don't think you're going to miss shots in 2026, right? So you're going to miss shots in 2026. How do you prepare for that? Well, use the oops bucket. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, we did an episode on that. called the Oops. I think the Oops Bucket's in the title. Just search Oops Bucket Pickleball Therapy. Find the episode on that. Listen to that. Have a tool available to you so that you can avoid feeling frustrated or upset at yourself when you miss shots, which, again, will happen in 2026. We also actually have a guide. You can get it. I'm not sure exactly how you can get it. We'll put a link in the show notes. That's what we'll do. We'll put a link in the show notes to a guide that we've created that has to do with pickleball therapy. The Oops Bucket is in there as well. You can see a visual of it if you want to. So that should help you out. And then the last one is out for 2026. Being frustrated with yourself, right? Being frustrated that you can't do the things that you expect to do and when you're out there playing pickleball. Embrace the fact that you're willing to push yourself, right? Going back to the challenge a little bit here, but more not about the game being challenging, but about you. In other words, embrace the fact that you are willing to put yourself out there and support that developmental approach that you have, that mindset that you have of saying, you know what? I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to test myself. I'm going to try. So be happy that you're doing that, right? As opposed to, feeling frustrated or feeling, let down when the things don't go exactly the way that you envision them going. So out for 2026 is some of these negative trends that we sometimes have. In for 2026 is a more positive approach to the game and more positive approach to ourselves, right? Because we want to be kind to ourselves. This is, you're your best ally, or you should be your best ally. I'm sure you have people in your life who care about you and support you and love you and things like that. But at the end of the day, this is your journey. Obviously, if you think it'll help you, and I think it will, check out the book that I mentioned earlier, Pickleball Therapy, the book, if you haven't done so already. Hey, you can go read the reviews. The reviews are on Amazon. You can see what other players are saying. They're very in-depth reviews. So you have plenty to read there about, what the book's meant to them. And you'll make a decision whether that's right for you. So hope you enjoyed, the first podcast first episode of Pickleball Therapy for 2026. I look forward to bringing you another, I guess I'm probably 51 weeks left. I didn't count them, but I'm guessing there's 51, maybe 50, maybe 52. I don't know. But let's say 51 weeks left. So I look forward to bringing you the next 51 episodes of Pickleball Therapy this year. And for some of you, I look forward to seeing you inside some of our coaching vehicles, whether it's a camp, pickleball system, academy, anywhere else that we do coaching. I look forward to seeing you there. To a great 2026. Let's kick out those negatives, get the good ones in, share it with your friends at the beginning of 2026. If you enjoyed the podcast, I probably will too. And I'll see you next time.